the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 48 back in 2014. There's a look at MetLife Stadium here in East Rutherford. Today, it's a Week 9 matchup set to go here between the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9?
Taken in at the 3.
And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. They start the drive with Cook.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Here's Allen. Working the middle here. That's complete to Knox, the tight end. It'll go down as a gain of 6. This defense for the Jets, they were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
No matter what coverage was called, they were right in the hip pockets of the receivers all game long, step for step, running their routes with them. Turned out they were right there every time the ball was in the air, and they came away with 5 interceptions in that one.
Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Throwing now is Allen. That's caught by Gabriel Davis. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 15 yards that time and a Buffalo first.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
On first down, Allen. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. And the Jets are going to get the football here as they force the INT on the game's opening drive. Well, it's no secret he's had trouble this year with interceptions, and this is a bad start for him. First drive, throwing another pick.
No matter who's broadcasting his game, that's how the conversation begins. Throwing too many interceptions, can he take care of the football? If I were his backup, I'd be edging towards the coaches and saying, hey, how about giving me an opportunity?
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, they always talk about playing great team defense, and that was an excellent example right there. Everyone on assignment, no one in the wrong spot, everyone filling their gaps.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Wilson. And they take him down. The Bills get to him. Von Miller make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
The competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. How about 5 sacks last week? We just saw their first one of this game.
So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Well, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And the Bills will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground.
He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4 on second down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
On second down, Cook. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down.
When you're lateral to the line of scrimmage, linebackers keep those shoulders square so they can go up and down. But when it's time to go, turn your shoulders just like a running back. Get through the line and hit the runner in the backfield.
Throwing is Allen on third. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
You know darn well both of these teams reviewed the film and saw that this defense had 5 sacks last week. They got to keep their QB upright.
And they're going to try their best to do exactly that. But they're facing a team where getting to the quarterback is a mindset. It's a mantra for them. And they play a game within the game. And you know what it is? Let's race to the quarterback and see who gets there first.
And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Sitting in first place in the division. They've got an open date on the calendar coming up next week. So, Charles, you and I were talking about this before the game. This one for them kind of has some extra importance.
It certainly does, because if they can get the win here and pad their lead a bit or at least keep pace, then they can really kick their feet up and say a job well done at this point and not have to worry about ball at all until they're back in their facility, back in their meeting room, getting ready for the next game.
Second and 9 now from the 21.
Hall again on second down. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
An extra defensive back here for the Bills on third down. Here's Wilson.
That is caught. It's Uzomah. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. It's a gain of 26 as they pick up the first down in the process. On first and 10, it's Hall.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42.
The Jets at 6-2 to start play. And they come in playing really well on both sides of the ball. They've won 6 of their last 8, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on second down.
Hall again on second down.
And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
They'll go again with Hall. Up to make the play defensively, Tre'Davious White. So that was a very nice play, Charles, from a very speedy cornerback.
And I have to think that when this play began, the running back thought to himself that this looks promising, but that feeling certainly didn't last very long. Super play defensively to lock in on the best route to his target, and he stopped him for no gain.
They go play action with Wilson. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. And the Bills are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
Well, it doesn't take a whole lot of investigation to figure out why they're still sitting at 0 on the scoreboard, because their quarterback's got to wake up and start reading defense a heck of a lot better after throwing his 2nd interception.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. And meanwhile, Allen's throw here taken in by Knox. On the move past the 40. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
And I feel a little bit like a traitor as a former defender, because that big man did not want to go down and refused to go down. If you're a defender and you don't get the right angle on a big tight end like him, he can run right through you.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Ashton Davis. And the Jets are going to get possession of the football as time will run out on this first quarter of play. No score after 1 on EA Sports. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson. That's complete. It's Elijah Moore. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a 1st down.
I think we've got evidence right now that this team's not going to be daunted at all. Just because they're backed up doesn't mean they're not going to continue to throw the football. They threw an incompletion on 1st down, but they came right back on 2nd down and threw it again. And this time they hit it for not just good yardage, but a 1st down.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, a run with Hall. And some space here. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A Jet 1st down, 18 big yards that time.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Wilson to throw. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. And that's on big Mekhi Becton, 1st-round pick in 2020. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Wilson. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet.
And intercepted. Wilson's third of the game. Picked up by Steven Nelson. And he is going to score. It's a pick six and a Bills touchdown.
That was a nice catch, and not by the guy you thought it was going to be. How about the defender turning into an offensive player as soon as the ball hits his hands, and off he goes, off to the races, and into the end zone.
Extra point by Bass, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fields it right around the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by...
And Allen going to be intercepted for the third time. Picked off by Micah Hyde. Wow, so wipe out the INT, roughing the passer. What a disaster.
An absolute disaster, and you hope their lockers are not right next to each other for the postgame. Safe to say one is not buying the other dinner.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. He's got the connection to Moore. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and that's going to bring up second down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
From the 36, Wilson. He finds his man, complete. It's Wilson. Wilson to Wilson there. Zach to Garrett for a jet first down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against him because you're running away from people on him.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. That's caught by his tight end, Uzomah. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one goes for 24 yards. Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again. Out of the gun, they run it with Hall. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Jordan Phillips is the one on the stop.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Looking to throw on second down. Wilson, and he slings one that's incomplete.
But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Now Wilson. Got a man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jets. Garrett Wilson with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Jets are an extra point away from drawing level. And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Zuerlein good with a PAT. We are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And they are over 500 for the season, 4-3. They got back above 500 with a victory last week. And, Charles, you think this is a very important week for them, do you not?
I certainly do, because when you start to do the math, and yes, I'm using my fingers to count. If you're 4-4 at the midway point, let's say you're saying 10 wins is your cutoff line for a playoff berth. It's usually right around that number. A loss here, all of a sudden you got to go 6-2 down the stretch just to reach 10 wins. That means this game is vital.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw, it's Allen. On the slant, he's got Davis. That's a room to maneuver. And they're into the end zone, but it's not verified yet. Hold on, there is a flag down. Brutal, so take away the long touchdown.
It's a cruel game sometimes, partner.
First down, and they're going to throw with Allen. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, C.J. Mosley. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming out, and that just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in his spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
A bit of an opening there on the first down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now it's Wilson. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Teron Johnson able to pick it. And the Bills are going to take over here up near the 40. Well, CD, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared. Had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
16 yards right off the bat and a first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
C.J. Mosley getting to him behind the line of scrimmage there. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. To the air, Allen. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Ashton Davis. The 20. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a jet touchdown. And a tight game like this, that could be an incredibly important pick six, CD. And remember, it cancels out the one that the opposition had earlier in this ball game.
You're right about that, partner, because each side came up with plays to swing the momentum their way. Still plenty of time left for either team to come through with a win, though. Can someone else make a similar play and win it for the club?
Zerline connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. Now they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. Let's get back on track here, and sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. This offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments, which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
Allen's throw taken in by Diggs. That's a catch of some significance. It's number 631 of his career, and why that's significant, it ties him with Hall of Famer Raymond Barry.
He was one of the most precise route runners in any position during his time in his career. So I think that we're seeing something very similar here. He may not have known Raymond Barry, but he goes about his business the same way. Understands how defenses are going to play, understands where the leverage is, and goes away from it to the tune of 631 catches.
On the move past the 40. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown. Isaiah McKenzie, 67 yards. And the Bills are an extra point away from tying the ball game here in the final minute of the first half. Extra point by Bass, up and good. And that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The New York offense taking over for their next possession, as they will take over here with a little more than 30 seconds remaining. He's going to look deep for more. And now here is another interception. Teron Johnson able to pick him. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that will bring up second down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. So after the sack, Allen and the Bills with work to do on 3rd and long. Operating from the gun, Allen. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And the Bills will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. So a costly penalty yardage-wise, as that'll move the football down to the spot of the foul.
And what the officials are looking for in these situations, whether you're playing the man or the ball. And if you're playing the man, you get a lot less leeway in terms of what's going to happen at the end of the play. But if you're looking for the football, it's less likely to draw the flag.
From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And he stopped immediately there. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. And they're not going to get the kickoff in time.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
And now after the delay of game, they're operating behind the sticks, 2nd and 15. A final shot before half for Allen. He's got his target. It's the tight end Knox. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. So we've hit halftime all even at 14 apiece. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
This offense ready for the first drive of the third quarter. Well, quarters number 1 and 2 entertaining. We saw some good offense points put up, Charles, and all tied on the scoreboard.
And it sets us up for what could be a really fun second half because we've seen both sides score almost at will here in the first half. And now, here in the second half, getting the ball first, you've got to think, hey, we can go out and really run our offense the way we did in the first half. But if I'm a defensive player, all I'm thinking is, can I make a play to really help out my team and break this streak of offense?
On 2nd and 12, Wilson. He finds Corey Davis.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect.
They'll run with Hall.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
I haven't met a football team yet that runs the ball successfully that doesn't talk about having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the first down sticks are, and get there.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Part of what we're seeing so far is a defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson.
That pass complete to Moore.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain there of 21 yards.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 43. From the shotgun, Wilson. And now here is another interception.
Pick made by Terrell Bernard. And the Bills will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
Well, to be frank, CD, this is getting tough to watch. I mean, you feel for him, but 6 interceptions, that's at a whole new level. It's not a good level.
It makes it tougher and tougher to come up with ways to try and support him. But you have to as a team because you can't just throw your quarterback aside. You're going to need him later on. But it reminds me of a time that a former defense coordinator of mine told me he was in a game where his quarterback threw 7 interceptions. So after the 6-1, one of the defensive players went to the quarterback and said, here's what you do. Throw the ball to the other team, and let's see if our receivers can pick it off and turn it into a completion.
That's just mean. I don't know that I'd go down there and say that to him right now. Probably pretty fragile. They run again on 1st down. Cook. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, in on the stop. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. On play action, Allen.
Swinging this out wide here for Cook.
And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Now on 3rd and 2, they're going to elect to throw with Allen. He's got the hook up with Diggs. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And that could be one of those turning point plays in a ball game. A field goal gets you the lead here, but they want to make a statement and get 6 points. And they're certainly going to get that opportunity as they get the conversion and set up 1st and goal.
And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12.
That's Jermaine Johnson stopping that play before it begins, dropping him for a loss.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
A quick throw going to be caught by Diggs.
They'll wind up getting 7 on the completion, but they'll still be faced now with a 3rd and goal situation.
Was that a design pass, or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
He'll find Diggs once more on the completion. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the run. A 4-yard pickup, not enough. 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get him the 1st down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. They'll run for it. Cook, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Buffalo. James Cook, his third rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bills' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Extra point by Bass, up and good. And the lead is now 21-14. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Wilson. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
That was well played, but that was also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. To throw is Wilson. And my goodness, another interception. Tre'Davious White with a pick. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And 3rd quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock.
Here's Cook again. And a short gain here, down to the 22. Now 3rd down is looming. A pickup of 2 on 1st down and just 1 yard there.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8. From the gun, it's Allen. It's caught by Davis. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. It's a gain of 13 for number 13, and it gives him a 1st down.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. Rush coming, and he's taken down. C.J. Mosley came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. 3 quarters in the books. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. first down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Allen going to throw. Diggs crossing the field and bringing it in. Really nice gain on the completion. However, still 3rd and goal that they face now. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Cook is in. Touchdown, Bills. We talk so often about how hard it is to win in the NFL when you turn the ball over, and here a late turnover leads to a 4th quarter touchdown and a 2-score lead.
And what's more important is being able to take advantage when a turnover presents itself. You've got to come up with points to make the other guy pay. They're able to do so here, and they've got a pretty good chance now of winning this football game.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And that one bounces out of the back of the end zone, so we'll start the drive at the 25 on the touchback. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try and battle back from a 2. And now here is another interception. Teron Johnson able to pick it. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. I think it's safe to say this is a game he's not going to forget anytime soon, Charles. 3 interceptions.
It's rare that we see 3 interceptions by one team, let alone by an individual. And I think that after the second one, he's probably telling his teammates, any ball that's in the air, it's going to be mine. And that turned out to be true.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. That really sets him back. A loss of 6. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it. And the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
They run it again with Cook. And some room to work. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage...
And he is into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. James Cook, his 3rd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Bills are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. Allen will try to throw for it. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Quan Alexander.
It's interesting that when it comes to 2-point conversions, even heavy run teams tend to throw the ball in these situations. In this case, this one was intercepted.
Yeah, they weren't fooled. They were ready for the pass, picked it off. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line.
The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And just looking ahead, it would appear that that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. If if you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
So well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
They'll run on first down with Moss. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's second down.
Well, that's a pretty good drive starter right there, and I don't know, partner, if you're even thinking about sitting on the ball right now. They may just want to run their regular offense.
In plus territory, and as an offensive coordinator, you don't want your team to go into a shell, do you?
No, you really don't, because as soon as you take your foot off the gas, it's real hard to put it back on and mash it, because once everyone's emotions come down, hard to start them up again. So I think he may want to keep them cranking high right here.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Sometimes I think these defensive tackles get a little bit of a bum rap. We just see them as big guys that eat up blockers for others to make tackles. Oftentimes they're quicker than they get credit for. And this time he uses quickness to make a play.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. C.J. Mosley able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
And just a 30-yard punt that time. And the Jets will take over first and 10.
At their own 19-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
The Jets on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 19. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. Well, I get it, Charles. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Down big. They just sent their receivers out, let it fly. But the defense, they were ready.
Yeah, and there aren't too many people left in this stadium that couldn't see that coming. But that's not a major criticism at all because you had to try it. What you're hoping for is one of your athletes out-athletes everyone else and makes a dramatic play.
And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now Allen going to give it to Moss. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Sauce Gardner picks it off. And the Jets are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They go play action with Wilson. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And they're going to be set up in the red zone at the 15. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there. Got a nice interception and set up their offense in great shape.
Allen hit. He lost the football.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
After the sack, oh, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. They'll go up the middle here with Moss. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Third down, here's a run by Moss. And he is going to lose yardage here. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And that is no good. He gave it a good run. That wasn't more than a foot or so wide to the left. And that'll keep this a 19-point game. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the 4th quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, you know, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. That's Gregory Rousseau getting in there to bring him down.
Well, at least it wasn't a turnover like the last drive. You'd think they'd make an adjustment and be ready to make up for that turnover. Instead, just another big play for the defense on that snap.
To try again after the sack. Wilson. And my goodness, another interception. Taron Johnson able to pick it. Charles, are you kidding me? 4 interceptions? I mean, that's a good season for a lot of defensive backs.
A lot of reason to get voted into the Pro Bowl. When you have 4 in one game, I mean, talk about a campaign slogan, right? I got 4. Send me to the Pro Bowl, guys. What a game we've experienced watching this one.
And they will take a knee here. So it's a victory here for the Buffalo Bills. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Buffalo,
the victory means they'll up their mark to 5-3 on the year.
and they will head home next week.